What are you up to in here?
There's been this hoax going around about this app that there's like a hacker or a pedophile or something on the other side, so I just thought I'd check it out for myself, see what everyone's talking about.
Okay, I regret asking. Have fun with that.
Hi, I'm Talking Angela. My boyfriend is Dom. I'm an aspiring singer and lover of fashion. What's your name?
I'm Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. How old are you?
I'm 24.
Where are you from? Jessica?
I'm from the United States.
That isn't very specific. I like your glasses, Jessica. They really suit your face. Did you know your brain can stay active for several minutes after your heart stops beating? Did you know when you die, your muscles stiffen? That's called rigor mortis. Hey, Jessica. Have you looked outside tonight? Jessica. Did you know you left your back door unlocked?
Hello everyone, and welcome to Internet History. My name is Jessica Laylah, and I'm gonna be your teacher for today's subject. Chances are, if you had access to a mobile phone in the 2010s, you probably played a lot of mobile games, like me. Crossy Roads, Flappy Bird, Temple Run, and even Angry Birds. But if you were super sick, like me, you may have played the line of games developed by Slovenian developers Outfit 7, featuring Talking Tom, Talking Angela, Talking Ginger, and Talking Ben. You see, at the time, games like these were completely unique. The two who were of the most interest were Tom and Angela, with Ben being a close runner-up. Outfit 7 creator Samo Login purchased a gray cat model online named Cat Cartoon for $90 from 𝘚𝘜𝘗𝘗𝑚. And this cat would go on to be the face of a franchise aptly named Tom. You'd play with Tom, poke him, harass him, and get him to repeat your words back to you in a higher pitch.
Subscribe!
It originally launched in 2010 for iOS with over 1 million downloads in just 13 days. And it wasn't long before the list of games grew, with Talking Tom 2 being released in 2011, My Talking Tom in 2013, and My Talking Tom 2 as recent as 2018. And although Tom may have been the face of this franchise, other mascots would soon follow. We have Talking Angela, Talking Ben, Talking Ginger, Talking Hank, Talking Becca, Talking Rex the Dinosaur. The list goes on. It's pretty long. And in fact, in 2012, these characters were popular enough to have their own series comprised of 10 episodes on the Disney YouTube channel. And Talking Angela was canonically Tom's girlfriend in this series, featuring an all-white female cat who had a singing career, love of gifts, and a sassy personality. She was first featured in the Valentine's Day app, and her own line of games soon followed after that. However, what might not be so plainly known is the extremely odd and dark hoax surrounding Angela's app Talking Angela that sparked a huge debate online and an uproar amongst parents. So, in February of 2014, the downward spiral began. Rumors that were sourced mostly from Facebook concerning the app collecting children's personal information, a camera in her eyes recording and watching users, and a rumor that tried to claim several children went missing after downloading the app. Although extremely bizarre, a lot of these posts can still be found online almost a decade later. I can't even in words say what I just found. I am shocked and want to tell and let my friends and family be made aware so they can make sure their children are safe. Angelica stayed home from school today, and thank goodness she did, because she was on her iPod playing a game called Talking Angela, which is similar to Talking Tom. Anyway, as she's sitting next to me, this interactive cat says to her, "Hi, Angelica, where is your brother?" She says, "Oh, he's right here next to me." The cat says, "Oh, cool." Then the cat says, "So what do you do for fun?" Ange says, "I don't know." Now I'm being quiet and listening, because I think it's weird this Angela cat knows she has a brother and is talking to her like a person. Then its voice changes, and in some weird robotic voice it says, "Angelica, when you date, what do you do on your dates?" She looked at me, got red in the face, and said nothing. Then it said, stick out your tongue. I'll stick mine out too. It said, what are some things you can do with your tongue? I can find many things to do with my tongue, it said. Let's interact with our tongues. I said, Ange, shut it off now. I was freaked out. Called the police department. They came to the house. Seth, they would have the Internet Investigations Unit and Pedophile Investigations Unit look into it. They called me an hour later and said something is behind that cat. They don't know if it is local or overseas. When the police officer was here and Ange was talking to him, she told the police officer Saturday night her cousin and her were on the app with Angela, and it asked the girls their names, what her brother's name was, and what school they both went to, and it took a picture of Angelica. This is under serious investigation right now. When I Googled Talking Angela, I can't even begin to tell you what creepy stuff came up. Google it for yourselves, please. Some things are the cat asking girls for their phone numbers. And if they've had their first kiss, take this app off your phone, please. There's a big chance they could be a door for pedophiles. The police said they have been doing things like this, but never actually through a child's app, but that they are not putting it past them. The girls told Angela the cat on Saturday their names, and she had a brother, and then on Monday morning, when Angelica turned the app back on, it remembered her name and that she had a brother. These things aren't supposed to ask you questions, and especially not questions about dating, tongues, or kissing. I am disgusted. I don't feel safe at all right now, knowing that there was some creep talking to my daughter and my niece through a talking app. Please, if you have this app, or any like it, the police are saying take it off your phone. Copy and share and send out, please. This word needs to spread. I pray the Ocean County investigators can crack this thing open. Do not download this app. I am warning you, do not download this app. It is totally dangerous, and don't listen to what the makers of the app tell you. If you zoom in her eyes, you will see a room with a guy in it, and it takes random pictures. If you wish to download, make sure you cover your camera with your fingers. Warning for to all. Warning for to all parents with children that have any electronic devices, example, iPod, tablets, etc. There is a site called Talking Angela. This site asks kids questions like their names, where they go to school, and also take pictures of their faces by pushing a heart on the bottom left corner without any notices. Please check your children's iPods and all to make sure they do not have this app. Please pass this message on to your friends and family members that have kids. Warning, repost to share. Delete app Talking Angela. If you have the app Talking Angela, delete it now. It is actually a hacker sitting behind that webcam, able to see you and you can't see him. Angela asks you very personal and perverted questions. The second you tap the button download is when your personal information is shot off to wherever this hacker is. They will know your name, address, parents, siblings, anything. Do not download this app. And it would appear as though the hoax was spreading pretty rapidly and pretty insanely. Though the grammar and general language choices make me think that most of the people behind these posts were literal children. This is why you don't give your kids internet access. And of course, there was a couple images circulating that were a close-up of her eyes, which if you look closely, do you notice anything? Yeah, those are One Direction members. And an article written on Hustlers tried to claim that a 7-year-old went missing after using this app. 7-year-old Eli Moreno missing after installing Talking Angela app, Dallas. Thursday morning, Jasmine Moreno installed the popular app Talking Angela on her iPhone for her 7-year-old son, Eli Moreno, to play with when she noticed the Talking Angela app was asking questions that seemed very odd. The Talking Angela app asked, "Are your parents home?" and even went as far as asking, "What are you wearing right now?" At the time, she didn't suspect that a child was on the other side of the app communicating with her young son, Eli. Friday morning, she let Eli play with her phone while she showered. By the time she was ready to drive Eli to school, he was missing. She reported him missing 1 hour later, and a detective asked her if she had the Talking Angela app on her phone. She was stunned to find out that several kids in the same neighborhood have gone missing days after installing the app. Hustlers talked to a local detective, and he told us, "We have been tracking the Angela pedophile for days now like he's a shadow. We are assuming this news hasn't been made public to keep app users from panicking. The problem with the story is that it made a ton of unsubstantiated claims, and the original article no longer exists. I can quite literally not track it down. So this tells me if this was even remotely true, why would they have deleted it? And why does this information about this child exist literally nowhere else? The Hustlers also made claims at one point that McDonald's was serving not only human meat, but the meat of children. So, you tell me how true you think this article is. You see, back then the app had a chat feature where you could write to her and she'd verbally respond with a text-to-speech feature.
That's not news from you. I was just taking a quick nap.
Kinda like Tamagotchi life, a little bit. And the hoax was built upon this feature, saying that Angela was asking extremely suggestive weird questions or responding in suggestive ways. Angela's technology was more or less a chatbot, following a preset script. Talking Angela was created in collaboration with Brillig Understanding Inc. and was lead developed and designed by the founders of the company, Bruce and Sue Wilcox, who had previous experience with AI. The chatbot used for the game was a program called ChatScript, something Bruce Wilcox had designed himself. And Angela, within the game files people have discovered, does have a preset list of things that she'd discuss regardless of your response, and would occasionally ask questions that could be regarded as inappropriate to younger users. Angela's chat function was actually never intended for children, but interestingly enough, there was a child mode which would toggle the chat feature off. And if you turn the chat feature off, you were left with the app exactly like it is today. When you first downloaded the app, it would prompt you what setting you wanted on, so you would actually pick which version of the app you were going to play with. What Outfit 7 did not seem to predict was children and technology are, well, they're actually pretty good with it. So toggling the child safe mode off was actually extremely easy. And so because children could toggle child safe mode off, they now had access to a feature that was intended for a slightly older audience. Outfit 7 unfortunately did not seem to recognize the issue that parents would take with their children being asked questions like, "What's your name? How old are you? What do you like to do for fun?" Because it triggered the belief that someone on the other side was tracking them, grooming them, and harvesting their data for some other means. And another feature that people took issue with was the camera feature, as the app would track facial expressions and she'd mimic them back. This meant that not only did the app have access to your microphone, it had access to your camera, which only further fueled the controversy surrounding Angela. However, in 2016, both features got removed, which surprisingly was not due to the controversy surrounding it, but some people surmise it may have been due to a copyright infringement, because Angela would mention things like Apple products, YouTube, and TiVo. While the hoax helped skyrocket the app into popularity, it was for all the wrong reasons. And to this day, in the year of our Lord, 2025, people are still review bombing the app on the App Store, naming a feature that got removed 9 years ago. So people not only believe the hoax, but are blatantly spreading lies about it. And there are people who think that there was a whole pedophile ring, and they all got arrested and the app is back to normal now. People even have vivid memories of something that could have never truly happened or existed. Truth is, there was no pedophile ring. There were no men watching you through her eyes. There were no children going missing because they downloaded an app. This is a prime example of misinformation spreading. And spreading so rapidly it causes panic and fear of something completely normal and innocent. People started seeing things and hearing things and picking up on things that just weren't true. This is by far one of the oddest conspiracy theories / hoaxes I've come across, and hopefully this eases some of those childhood fears. This is kind of like a series I started on my channel, I believe in February, of internet history. I'm not really sure what I want to do with it, I'm kind of just sitting on it, but I thought this would be a fun topic to visit as I saw people talking about this not too long ago, so it's still a relevant topic somehow almost a decade later. What's crazy to me is that people ever fell for this or ever believed this, and I understand that it was an app for children, but I was a child around the time that this was of interest. So I never understood how people thought it would be possible that there's an entire pedophilia ring behind this app. Like, I think a lot of people have kind of wondered if this kind of killed the company in some way, because the popularity of the games just kind of went downhill pretty rapidly after this entire situation ended. And again, to this day, you can go on the App Store and read through the reviews and you will see people talking about features that do not exist. It's crazy to me that 10 years ago, I saw people talking about it, children, and now 10 years later, children are still talking about it. So yeah, that was a fun little internet history lesson for you. If you want to check out the first episode of this series, I will link it down below, but it's also going to be in a playlist. This is where we're going to explore internet history, no matter how weird, crazy, or creepy. And everyone, I'm your teacher, Jessica Laylah. Hopefully you feel a little less spooked out about Angela now, and hopefully I will see you all here next time.